Countless small businesses fail each year. For someone like Zhou Kunpeng, the founder of 59store.com, gaining that foothold as an entrepreneur is extra difficult as he has very limited business experience.
Zhou Kunpeng has set up warehouses in each university district on Shanghai's outskirts. We spoke with the landlord in Shanghai's Songjiang University town. The rent for a 100 square meter warehouse is 3,000 RMB per month. But what about other costs?
We transport snacks directly from an adjacent warehouse to students. The distance is less than 1 kilometer. I've improved the process and boosted the efficiency of deliveries and warehouse staff so that one staff member can take on the work previously done by 3.
59store has 25 full-time deliverymen and a couple of hundred part-time students to serve all university towns in Shanghai. Zhou says each order is 50 yuan on average, and the gross profit is 20 to 50%. Though he's unwilling to disclose the specific order volume, he sent 59store to get an order every 30 seconds in the peak hour. Zhou says the 300,000 RMB angel investment fund has been paid off. Now, he has bought his own car and leads a comfortable life. However, his promising business is at great risk if it expands too quickly. It turns out there's an example for him, a sad example. 59store is not the first website running localized and in-time food delivery service. 6 years ago, the forerunner of this business model, Ximi, was all the rage. It aimed to send snacks to white-collar workers in Beijing CBD 2 hours after an order was made online. The website made a profit of 7 million yuan the first year, but went broke in 2011.
In fact, Ximi.com did well. They served office buildings at first. However, as the business expanded, they were unable to keep up with the surging orders. Their means of delivery had changed from electric bicycles, sometimes on foot, to vans or bigger vehicles. The operational model changed fundamentally. It's not just an issue of order volume.
Zhou would be the first to tell you that a good business stems from a good foundation.
Our business is in fact sophisticated. On the face of it, it's only a website, but many things are behind it. The supply chain, SPU planning, choosing products, improving product structure, promotion, business model duplication, the IT system, the logistics. We will standardize everything like McDonald's does. I think only that can be called a solid foundation.
59store began discussion with a new round of investors in 2014 and plans to cover more than 500 universities in 20 major Chinese cities by mid-2015.
I hope to expand our business to all universities in Shanghai, as students are price-sensitive and internet-savvy and are in want of fast delivery service. We hope to launch more services to meet their demand.
Expand indeed. 59store hopes to expand its business to all first-tier cities in China and ultimately evolve into a platform like Alibaba, which provides a set of solutions making on-time delivery possible for every businessman on the platform. Needless to say, there are obstacles.
They might
come across bottlenecks, such as scale expansion. Their current business model is similar to that of other e-commerce businesses. It is labor-based, and the profit per order is not necessarily high. On the other hand, the market threshold is rather low. How can you expand it out of Shanghai or the Yangtze River Delta? Or how can you face challenges from other students with the same thoughts, the same business, or the same website? There are rather big risks ahead.
So, Professor, what are some of the challenges for 59store in terms of sustainability of the business going forward? Because each order is around 50 RMB. Each order doesn't really make that much in terms of profits.
That's right. So I think the number one challenge is, how do you keep a decent profitability, right? So as you mentioned, I think their gross margin is about 20 to 30%. And if you take out, warehouse costs, SG&As, other management fees, the net profit is, it's marginal, right? So they may have enough to break even, but if they're thinking about future expansion, by bootstrapping, it's going to be very difficult. So eventually, if they expand, they will probably have to take in some venture capital money. So I think that's the number one challenge. Another challenge is labor cost, right? So this business model is very labor intensive. They need a stable delivery team, right, who can ensure or guarantee delivery within 59 minutes. But as we know that over the last few years, the labor cost in China has been rising very rapidly, right? And the turnover rate is also very high. Right, so is the company going to have a stable delivery team? That's a question mark.
Having too much or too many orders is not necessarily a good thing. Why would any business owner say such a thing? You have a lot of orders. Shouldn't that be a good thing that every single entrepreneur and owner wants to aspire to?
This is a really good question, Michael. But I think the discussion boils down to, well, do you want to grow bigger or grow stronger? Right. So, from basic economics, we know that the basic relationship between long-term average cost and quantity is actually U-shaped. It's not linearly related, right? What this means is when you start off with the production initially, the per unit cost will go down, right, as you achieve this economy of scale. But as the quantity reaches a certain threshold, right, the per unit cost actually goes up, right, back up again. And this is because internal management cost becomes very high, right? So I actually agree with the founder. If he can't really step up in terms of the internal management capabilities, it's actually not a good idea to take in too many orders.
So Professor, how should 59 Store proceed going forward? If it wants to service more universities, if it wants to service more students, what should it do?
Well, I think the number one thing is to stay in its niche market. They can expand to other universities in other cities, but make sure that they stay close to universities as of now. There are a lot of other internet giants out there who can take down the company very quickly, very easily. So I think it's safer to stay in this niche market and go deeper, penetrate deeper into the market and make sure they have a solid foothold, in this market before they can think about tapping into like office buildings or other consumer group or clienteles. Right, so that's number one recommendation. And my second recommendation is to build up their brands, right? So get the name out. Have more university students know about 59, and they can do that by word of mouth. The entry barrier of this business is very low. So the only way that they can win out in this market and gain a strong foothold is by delivering superior customer service. And my last advice would be to focus more on their internal management, right? Because given that 59 Store focuses on this college market, now we know university and college have winter vacations and they have summer vacation, which is about 4 months together, right? So their sales is going to be cyclical, right? So there's seasonalities to their sale. Now, if you think about it, this is essentially a cash flow business with very thin margin. So when the sales goes down, what this effectively means is they're going to be running very tight on their cash. Right? So how do they wrinkle out these seasonalities and make sure that they have enough cash to move forward? That's another thing they have to watch out for.
Well, I think it certainly can win my heart if 59store.com operates here in Beijing, because we both work very long hours. So when 11 o'clock hits or when midnight hits, to have this kind of service, I think will be pretty good to munch on some snacks at midnight.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
Back to the good old college days of eating snacks during midnight time or 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, miss those days.
Professor, many thanks for your insights on 59store.
You're welcome.
All right, and on that tasty note, we wrap up this edition of New Money here on CCTV News. I'm Michael Wong. We'll see you again, same time next week.